Sunrise in the morning, and yeah, it's just stunning. Which is 700 k's away, and indicating that we'll get there around about 2:30 tomorrow morning. And I'm just watching the last of the remnants of the sun coming up, or sorry, setting. So here we are, just handing over the BMW to Wacker and Fern. This has been a purchase that I made about 4 years ago, and it's been an absolutely awesome car. I've never had a problem with it. It's been extremely awesome. So it is on its way to its new owners, and there it goes. So, we're trying to get our flight to Melbourne through QF10, and this is the start of it. Not too bad, pretty reasonable. The Qantas Business Lounge international departures, getting a coffee, and further down we have some really nice drink, and food looks awesome. As we step onto the plane, there she is. Just arrived in Melbourne to a dead flat carousel. It's nearly 45 minutes since we arrived, but still no movement in the baggage section. We're at the baggage claim because Stuart's bag didn't quite make it to Melbourne. We don't really know where it is, but that should be a lot of fun. We'll work that out soon. We are in Melbourne. It's a lovely chilly morning. The day of picking up the car. Thanks Leo for the lift, and we're about to head off for brekkie. Yee-hee-ha! Brekkie time. It comes with run flat tyres. This is the only way if we get a puncture on the road. We don't have any other option. This is where apparently how you buy a car. This is 123 Easy Auto. So whole heaps of cars in here. It is hopefully fueled up and ready to go. It's looking good. Yeah, waggle. Yeah, good on you, man. So there's Darren. He's the good guy. He's helped me out big time here to get this car all ready. And
sure. Now just going through rain-exing the car.
So good morning. We're on our way to Nullarbor after picking up the car. First impressions are pretty damn good. It feels solid. The good thing is we've got good tyre tread. Given it's second hand, I wasn't sure what to expect. However, the biggest risk we'll have on this whole journey across to Perth will be a puncture, because we don't have any spare. Run flat tyres. All I've got is a tube repair, not a tube repair kit, but one of those actual tyre inflators. So that is the biggest risk. Apart from that, we should have a good run. It's coming in to be miserable for this day, but for the next few days it should start to clear up and we should get a really good journey into Perth. So thanks Stewie for making the thing. The car's set up. We're off as I said, to Nullarbor tonight to Airbnb. The computer's in the car, everything's functioning perfectly. It's riding smoothly, there's no vibrations. I'm really happy. Coming through that little Anglesey. We've just been through Anglesey as Stewie's having a bit of a drive, and everything's going swimmingly, except it's pretty miserable today. That's alright, it's all part of the trip. And we're on the Great Ocean Road here, looking really awesome. Some of this scenery is fantastic. So here we can put the car in a sport mode in this application, which changes the suspension and the throttle, and gives you that punch when you need it. And oh, holy shit, it's awesome. Beautiful scenery again, just on the coast road. It is worth the drive. Some beautiful scenery. There's the tractor still running. Stewie's getting a photo. We're on our way onto the Great Ocean Road. So lots of pretty little towns along this area. Oh, look at that pit stop. That's awesome. Yeah. So what a pretty place. And, bought some clothes in here. Stewie's putting his on now. And actually really good clothes. Very awesome place. Yeah. So here we are just outside of Lawn, and we're taking the drive back through Gradation Road. And it's just a beautiful day. A little bit of rain, but it's still very pleasant. There's no wind. There's Stewie. So this is where we shouldn't be, but it's just beautiful. The water's stunning. Day 2, start of day 2, we're at Warrnambool. There's the car parked in the car park, and we've got a very balmy, stormy morning here at Warrnambool. We're going to have breakfast here, but they don't serve. Actually, they don't serve till a little bit later on, so we're just grabbing a coffee and we'll get ahead to Port Fairy. So here we are on the road again. The weather's clearing up. We've just left Port Fairy on our way to Nelson on the Great Ocean Road, or what's the end of it. And the next stop will be Mount Gambier as we get into South Australia. So all going well, car's going well, everything's going superbly. So yeah, enjoying the drive. One of the great aspects of South Australia is A, the roads are better, and B, we can now do 110 kilometres an hour, not 100 as our maximum. And again, as usual, everything's going swimmingly. Just back there, we just crossed the border to South Australia, and Kingsley found $20 just sitting in the side of the road. Pretty cool. We are in Narracourt. It's 12:50 p.m. and day 2 of the trip. And this is quite a trendy little town. I'm trying to find a cafe along here. So here we are driving an unregistered vehicle into. I think still a police still haven't pulled us over. That's interesting. So it's somewhere along here, Stewie, is it? So nothing like a pasty. Here we are at Tintinara. Looks like we're going to have a play trains. So much fun. Yep, watch out. Here we go. So good. So here we are at Murray Bridge. I think there's a bit of bridge works going on. So a slight breeze blowing, but otherwise clearing up really nicely. Here we have a little bit of bridge works here at Murray Bridge. So South Australia. Still about 115 kilometres from Kapunda. Things are going well. So I've only got 90 kilometres to run. This is the last part of the day for day 2 coming into Kapunda. So these are the Gawler Ranges in South Australia. The weather's cleared up nicely. Looks like tomorrow will probably be pretty clear. Stewie's back at the wheel, doing the thing, and just widen that a bit. And yeah, things are going well. Side of Adelaide, and just running up the back of the Gawler Ranges. So, yeah, beautiful part of South Australia, all nice and green this time of year, being July, middle of winter. So crops are starting to grow, things looking really good. So 68 k's to go, another half an hour perhaps, just about into Kapunda. Some of these beautiful trees here, these aged gum trees, just look fantastic. Really set the way. This is typical South Australia. Out in the going up toward the Flinders Ranges, etc. It's just simply stunning. It's always a good drive. It's still pretty awesome, these trees. This time of the day too. The light is really nice. So, just gone sunset, and oddly enough the lights on the dash go from white to red, and the heads-up display goes to orange. So it's quite interesting how it works out the timing for that. Must have something to do with the light that is around, or whether it's a timing thing with sunset, because ironically sunset was at 5:30. It's exactly when the lights changed on the dash, so pretty cool. We are at Kapunda, just leaving. It's a balmy 6 degrees, and we're heading into Kapunda for a coffee, and then good on your mum, doing the pretend wave thing, and yeah. Good coffee at the Kite Cafe before we head off. So 7 o'clock in the morning, and beautiful sunrise. Beautiful Kite Cafe, and I'm just saying how beautiful this cafe is. We've got the young lady there preparing a coffee for our trip, and we'll be on our way shortly. Woohoo! It's always good to come to South Australia. So coffees are being done, so we'll be right to go and hit the road. Jane's done a great job. Good on you, Jane.
You're welcome.
So we've just left Kapunda after grabbing a coffee. We've got 150 kilometres to run to Laura, which is just south of Port Augusta, and we have a beautiful morning here in Barossa Valley, I guess the north end of Kapunda. We won't travel on the highway. We'll be travelling over to the east of that highway on this other side of the ranges, and to come out of Port Augusta and then head down towards Elliston from the peninsula. Got Stu at the wheel. It's a beautiful morning. Had a good sleep at Edna's. Thanks for the roast dinner. It's bloody excellent. And we'll fuel up also in Port Augusta, which is our second fill since we've left Melbourne, and hopefully just 1 or 2 more fills to get us through to Perth. Rise in the morning, and yeah, it's just stunning.
Don't forget, if you mention TripleM, you'll get an extra 10% off.
In the time it took me to travel one stop, I think she's
Good old South Australia countryside.
She's just opened a new
We are in just out of town, and it's a bit cold. It's actually ice on the ground. It's another iconic South Australian image of a old stone cottage in a paddock. It's a beautiful morning. Sun's up. Yeah. Through Georgetown, which is we're 126 kilometres from Port Augusta, on our way through to Elliston today. We're into the great opening spaces of South Australia, where it gets a bit broader, less hills, and amazing wide open spaces. Just north of Georgetown in South Australia, after leaving Kapunda this morning, reaching into the wide open spaces of South Australia. We've got 124 k's to run to Port Augusta, where we'll refuel, and then we'll head down towards Whyalla and then on towards Elliston this afternoon. Beautiful day, just a breath of wind, but at least the sun's out now and it's looking really clear and nice. Good clouds and great drive. Where we join Highway 1, A1, which goes all the way around Australia. Pick it up again we'll lose it again in Port Augusta, and then we'll pick it up again back in Ceduna, South Australia. I'm going to take a diversion into Port Pirie, which is off the highway. I'm going to fuel up here, and the other fact is I haven't been in here for so long to have a look. So Port Pirie's not a big town, but it's involved in the late 1800s in the export of lead and steel, etc. from BHP. Broken Hill. So yeah, let's have a look at this place and get some fuel. Here we're going to fill up with our diesel. It's not a bad price at the moment, $2.06 a litre after we've had to pay before. So here we are through the main street of Port Pirie. So got a bit of history here, a few of the old buildings as you can see. Looks like we've got a museum, and in front of us to the right is looks like the smelters. Not sure if it's operating, I presume it might be. And look. First time I've been to Port Perry in a while, so it's nice to have a bit of a look around. 10:25 in the morning on day 3, Port Perry. First time I've been here for a while. The water's lapping on the shore, some silos there, and looks like it smells kilometres from Port Augusta. Looks like we've got some wind turbines here that seem to be a fair good addition to South Australia for energy. Noting Port Augusta used to supply energy to Adelaide until 2010, which they had a massive power station that's since closed, which was coal power. Port Augusta has a population of around about 12,000 people. It's been declining steadily over the years, given they no longer supply the energy to Adelaide. However, it is a major thoroughfare for road trains and trains, either heading north or west of South Australia. Some imagery of these wind turbines, which seem to be quite recent. Noting there too is a water pipe which runs water from the River Murray up to Port Augusta to supply water for the town. Here to our left, this is looking west from the highway. There seems to be a massive array of solar panels and then a really bright white tower, so I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, obviously a major supply of energy into South Australia. Given they don't have much rain in this part of town, they have a lot of strong sunlight that would support energy regeneration. Augusta, as you can see to the left and right, there's some salt pans. This is the northern end of the Spencer's Gulf. As such, it's a pretty desolate sort of place as far as there's no beaches to speak of, and it's pretty rough and dry and really hot in summer area of South Australia. Downtown Port Augusta, that's the bridge we just crossed. So we've got a lot of major works going on over there. To our right here is the main township of Port Augusta, where shopping centres etc. are. And they even have a, believe it or not, a yacht club here. Quite to eat in the cafe. Collecting the salad, just going for a burger. We're on the road after a bite to eat. Head a little bit to west before heading down south towards Whyalla and Cowell. The beautiful day. Now, what's the temperature? About 16. About 16.5. On a beautiful winter's day, sun shining, and it just looks fantastic. We're heading west at the moment towards Iron Knob. However, we'll turn left towards Whyalla and then onto Cowell before heading west again to get to Alliston this evening. It's about a 5.5 hour journey depending on the stops, and should be back on the west coast of Eyre Peninsula this evening. Whyalla, obviously part of the history of shipbuilding in Australia. It's got some military history by the look of it, the gun and stuff. And then I guess looking further into the town, got a bit going on down there by the look of it. Quite a view here. Good old Whyalla cracking on. Looks like that's a new facility, but it is a beautiful day. It's looking south, and here we are, sunny Whyalla. Hammond Hill, and look at that ocean. It looks pretty damn good today as we head back towards Cowell for our next little seaside visit. We are driving into Cowell, C-O-W-E-L-L in South Australia, on the east coast of Eyre Peninsula, about halfway between Port Augusta and Port Lincoln. So Cowell's not known for too much other than a service town and a very popular fishing spot. Also, you could catch the ferry across from the mainland that comes out of Lucky Bay just north of here if you didn't want to drive all the way around to Port Augusta. So we've even got a bit of artwork on the silo, so we'll go and check that out. here in Cal. It obviously draws visitors in, and it's always worth a good look. It's amazing how they do this. Staying for dinner, eh? Pig on a spit, looking pretty good. Yeah. So the pub, and this looks very much like the main street. A few murals poking around. Yeah. Oh, beautiful bronzy bugger. Yeah, look at it. Unfortunately met his death in the front of the Beamer here on the road from bugger. And on a Tuesday night there's not a lot of choice for food, however surveys help us out. Stu's got butter chicken, I've got a steak sanger with a lot, and we're parked here with everybody else, no one, and enjoying a beautiful sunset by the look of it. So beautiful Alliston jetty. Started the car up. It's 10 to 7. Sunrise is late this morning here because we're slightly west of Adelaide. This is our little stay, and we're heading off shortly. So this is the start of the morning of, surprisingly, someone on the road. But yeah, it is 1 degree outside, so it's not exactly warm. This is the morning just before to sunrise at Alliston. There's the car over there waiting for us. Sunrise in Alliston, South Australia, and it's just going to be a stunning day today. It's morning like these when you really appreciate the heated seats, which are certainly been on for the last couple of minutes, and here we have a stunning morning. Still a little bit damp outside from the dew, but otherwise it's going to be a stunning day here in South Australia. So the sun has now just been up over the horizon to our right, heading towards Streaky Bay. We'll stop there and have breakfast. So Stuart's got a friend who met through social media when he was joining the Navy, and she's from Streaky Bay, so we'll hit her up as well when we're visiting, just to catch in and let her know that we're visiting her town. And there's the sunrise, and this is the town of Venus Bay. Just parked up quickly. You can hear the rolling surf over the background there. Arriving at Streaky Bay. It's 8:31 a.m. The town off to Sejuna, but we'll go straight into town and I'll try and get a brekkie here and see how that goes. And a Streaky, just trying to find our cafe, should be up here on the left. All going well. There's the ocean down in the right down the front there. Streaky surf. We are at Streaky Bay. Down this is the main jetty. Some beautiful Aboriginal art. It is a beautiful morning today. Reflection of Streaky Bay. Here we are at Funkton Flowers. This has only been open for 3 weeks in Streaky Bay. The ladies have done a great job. Got coffee happening, breakfast is happening. Yeah. And here we are. Beautiful sun, beautiful day in downtown Streaky Bay. Enjoyable coffee. I'll be on toast with a coffee. Very enjoyable. And here we are, it's an outlook at Streaky Bay. There's some cars outside. Beautiful morning, Streaky Surf Shop. and they've got like some serious amount of stuff here. This is pretty good for a little country town in South Australia. Morning from Ebba. What a stunning morning we've got. This is the just out of Streaky Bay on the Eyre Peninsula, and we've just pulled up here in the little town of a friend that Stuart knows. Managed to drive the car down to the beach, and it is absolutely stunning morning.
Driving on the beach, testing out his all-wheel drive.
Morning, where it's 10:44 a.m. Just arriving in Smoky Bay, South Australia, which is 30 kilometres from Ceduna on the west coast of the Eyre Peninsula. Very renowned for its oysters growing. And actually my uncle lives down here on the water, I believe, so I'm going to have a bit of a look foreshore. See the Smoky Bay jetty. And yep, fairly standard, but looks fantastic. Before my uncle Ken lives here in Nullarbor Bay. Just thought it was Smoky Bay, but it's actually Nullarbor Bay, which is a bit further north of Smoky Bay, not too far out of Ceduna. So we're just going to go in there and say hello if he's there, very briefly, because we've got to keep going. But of course, a bit of a dirt road. That's what it's like out here, but at least it's not too bad. So just come back to you with a bit of place, and there's mangrove swamps to the left and right of us. Just swing around there, see that there. This is where a lot of nature's beautiful little fish would start their lives and grow in the mangroves, and then head out towards the ocean for further growth. So sandhills to the left. This is Ken's shack ahead of us. At Ken's place, which is such a long way from the water. There it is right there, and it's such a serene little location. Another angle. Yeah, just stunning.
Would you believe, last year, you can just see the pot hanging behind that.
Yeah.
That's where they built their nest last year and raised their young
Oh wow.
under the marina.
Oh.
That's awesome.
So here we are at Ken's. Yeah. So here we are. It's coming into Ceduna. On the left-hand side is the Ceduna Airport, which is quite a significant little airport because it's almost as the crow flies halfway across Australia. So it's used occasionally as an emergency airport for jets that fly through. But it's the last. I guess it's the last major town. Ceduna's the last major town before you hit the Nullarbor. There's nothing much at all between Ceduna and Norseman as far as shops and facilities and repairs, etc. So usually you'll top up here with food and goods. Check your vehicle, top up with fuel. Seems to be it'll be a lot cheaper here than any of the stops across the Nullarbor, and that's the place to get it. So a town of around about 4,000 people live here. This is where I was born. Good old 1956, and grew up and went to school here in Ceduna area school. Great little town. Love growing up here. So yeah, I'll do some more footage shortly as we get towards the foreshore. Coming up to what we call Park Terrace. There's the railway line that runs past our place, and just down there on the left, past that shed, is where I was. And then to the left of that, of course, is an old historical shed. But that's where I grew up. And good old Ceduna, that's the railway line that runs out to Penong and thing to pick up grain, etc. So this is good old Park Terrace in Ceduna. Thank you. Day in Ceduna. It's not very often you get a flat, calm day, but it is winter, and if all the days that you normally get a flat, calm day, it is winter. So this is Rockingham foreshore. So Rockingham, below that, Ceduna foreshore. Don't know where Rockingham came from. This is certainly enhanced that little space along here. You can see the Ceduna jetty. That's the fuel reserve coming on. We'll top up with that shortly. There's the caravan park. So it's the main caravan park of Ceduna right on the foreshore here. In front of us is the Ceduna Community Hotel and Motel. day in Ceduna. This is the, as you can see, the tide's pretty much in. But it's crystal clear water at the moment, as you can see. It's a cool Bird Rock where I used to go swimming over there, and there's the, and we look back towards the town of Ceduna. This is the main drag, if you want to call it the main drag. It's where all the shops and that. There used to be a picture theatre there to the left, and today we have an amazing, beautiful, flat, calm day. So it's looking really nice down here. A lot of tourists going through. On the right you can see all the Norfolk pine palm trees that have grown significantly over the years to look as they do today, which is quite a standout for towns along the limestone coast to the west coast of South Australia. Thanks, Jim. So here we are, we're going to just top up with fuel in Ceduna. This is the last stop before probably Norseman. Hopefully we'll get through to for the next lot of fuel. And the price here will be reasonable, but nothing on the Nullarbor will be. So let's hop up here and see how we go. It was $2.18 a litre. So we took on 61.9 litres. So it should hopefully get us through to North. We are coming into Penong, which is a little town just west of Ceduna, about 90 k's. World famous for its windmills. That will make place. So as you can see, there's even a little bit of history around it over here. So the windmills of Penong. Woohoo! And here's the metropolis of Penong that we're coming into right now. It's a kind of blink and you'll miss it, but it's still a beautiful little town. Like a lot of these towns, it's a pity that we don't have time to have a bit more of a look around. Each of them has its own history, as well as the uniqueness of each place that is worth a look each time. Here we go, leaving Penong as we head towards Perth. Only 1,840 k's to go. Not bad. To take the diversion into Fowler's Bay, so 13 kilometres out. We could maybe put the drone up, but it is a beautiful day. Virtually still no wind around, sunny skies, and let's see if I can get some footage. Now we're on some dirt road. So eventually we'll get to see the sand hills in the distance. Here we are at Fowler's Bay. I did manage to get the drone up for those that are wanting to know if I can ever get the drone up. So it's still a beautiful day, and we've got the good old historic Fowler's Bay. It's looks quite busy this time of year with all the tourists, but yeah, stayed here once. It was pretty awesome. And behind us, of course, is all the sand hills. Here we head back off the road that we came, or we take this one, which is a little longer, but it will take us a lot further west, so it saves us doubling back, if that makes sense. So we'll just see what the road's like before we upload. So the road wasn't too bad, a little bit patchy here and there. We still haven't finished to get onto the highway yet, but this is a little town called Nullarbor, which used to be on the old highway going across before they built the new one. So don't know if a lot of people live here, but it looks like it's got a couple of people that hang out and maybe do something here. I'm not sure what, but this is good old Nullarbor. Cool. So we finally finished on the dirt road from Fowler's Bay. Rejoin the air highway just up here. It was a bit rough, a bit of a risk with low profile tyres and a possible puncture, but so far so good. The car seemed to handle it just fine. So yeah, that's a bit smoother. Yay! Woo! So here we are coming up towards what we call the Great Australian Bight. This is part 2 of Kingsley's little story. As you can see, as you look around that street, thanks mate. As you look around, you can see that the trees are becoming less and less. So as we journey on a bit further, we'll find that it'll become treeless, the treeless plains of the Nullarbor. It's getting very close to that now. So we've travelled on a bit further. We've done 287 kilometres since Ceduna. The clouds are well and truly settled in. winds come around to behind us, so the economy's dropping a little bit. It's getting a little better. And what wind there is a lot of wind. So stage 2 of a little story about the car. I think I explained previously of the old X3 30D I had, which is a 3-litre diesel, a renowned motor with BMW for not only its torque but for its durability. So thankfully it proved to be the case. Prior to that I had Subarus. I've always loved Subarus, they've been super reliable. My last car was a wagon, a Subaru Outback wagon 30R, which was the 6-cylinder 3-litre motor. And that had a lot of go in it, I think 180 kilowatts, but only had about, I think, 230 kilowatts of torque. I'm sure someone will correct me. So it wasn't a torquey motor, but it was very smooth. But also it drank a little bit of fuel. The best I ever got out of it was about 9 litres per 100 k's, even though it's quite a streamlined vehicle. So what do you get next? Do you get another Subaru? Now, new Subarus do not have the 3-litre motor. They only come at the moment as the 2.5 litre. So they don't have a lot of power. They cruise well, they're a beautiful car, but no power. And I like to have a bit of power. So I thought, no, we'll go back to another BMW since the previous one has been really good. So things that I like in a car, need a good seat. So the seats in these are freaking amazing. They're adjustable almost every way, lumbar support, side bolsters, thigh support, up and down. Of course, simply the chair itself can go down and up. So you can get yourself in a really comfortable position for driving, and it makes the journey so much more pleasurable. The other thing that I really enjoyed about the other BMW was the first time I ever had it's what we call a heads-up display. So the great thing about a heads-up display is you don't need to look down to not only see your speed, but if you put in your sat-nav direction, it gives you that right in front of you. And that means that you're always looking at the road, so if you miss or see something, it's almost instant. You don't need to look down. The upgrade on this particular model not only allowed that, but it also added in when you want to change music, you can just touch a wheel here and you can select your songs, your mode. You can do that all from the steering wheel button, looking ahead. So that is another feature that's, I think, really important for driving, especially long distance. It just makes that so much easier, and you've always got your hand on the road. So as you can see, a lot of trucks going by, many of them travelling east. Obviously they are quite empty, and I've saw every second truck that drives by is being empty. It's obviously a lot of stuff goes to WA, but not a lot comes back. So I would imagine if you wanted to ship anything back east, it'd be reasonably cheap to put something on a truck. So as we swing around now, you'll see we're almost on what we call the treeless plain. We've virtually got no trees, and there'll become a point later on in this road that we will see nothing but the blue bush. Basically nothing but the Nullarbor. This little hill here is where I took a photograph. This is the start of the treeless plain of the Nullarbor, and there's a little hill here that you can pull up to and get a great vantage point for a photograph into the distance, and then have your vehicle in the photo. So I'm going to do that. Did that with the previous car I had, and now I'm going to do it again with this little tractor. This is the Nullarbor as we would know it. Absolutely treeless plain. I cannot see a tree, maybe the odd bush, but certainly no trees as we slowly approach this vehicle in front of us. The roads are dead straight. There's not a lot around to look at, but that in itself is the beauty of the Nullarbor. Wide open spaces, the enormity of it all, and I believe, but just by crossing the Nullarbor it gives you an appreciation of the vastness of what we call Australia. It's got a breeze blowing, but otherwise it's not a bad day. The clouds are well and truly come in, but allows us to get some amazing footage of this Nullarbor. Border Village, or Border Village and the border. And so she looks like she's the angry ant one, so it will be interesting to see how all this goes. Welcome to WA. Just waiting for our burgers, which they weren't going to cook, but then they eventually did because I persisted. Thanks to them, they were wonderful. And then here we are, there's a sign, Perth 1435, and we'll meet that tomorrow morning sometime. We'll be driving straight through. So there's the car down there. The clouds are amazing, and we've still got a little bit of tailwind. And here's the we call Eucla stop. $2.89 a litre here at the moment. Oh, you want a little bit of this one?
Yeah, not too much.
Nice. A little bit of the homemade sauce here, tomato and chilli.
Where did we get that from?
We got that from that little village, Tintinara?
Tintinara?
Yeah,
I'm glad I remembered that.
near Ceduna.
Yeah, Ceduna.
Well, not actually near Ceduna, but anyway.
No, it's very far from Ceduna.
It's a long way away.
All right, we're going to eat. Bye-bye.
So, we made it to the old telegraph station. It says 4:30 here, but yeah, I think it's a little after 4:30 as far as the light time goes. And that's where Eucla is, back up there, and that's where we've got the car parked, which we'll head off shortly to Norseman. Video's on.
I don't want to jump.
Well, you got there, like, get down, because we've got to go. Oh my goodness, you're not going to jump there. Sand maybe, on the left, to your left, to your left, to your left. Boom. Righto, that's boogie. Just left the Eucla after grabbing a burger, going down to get a few snaps down on the old Eucla telegraph station, and a bit of a run around and get a bit of fitness because we're going to be sitting in the car for the next, well, quite a few hours. We've got a run into Norseman, which is 700 k's away, and indicating that we'll get there around about 2:30 tomorrow morning. And I'm just watching the last of the remnants of the sun coming up, setting in the west. So we're going to be driving into some weather in due course, but at the moment it's quite dry and quite pleasant. Well, he's put the light on, and thumbs up. I've got a first little stint at the wheel, and let's see how this all goes. Just the only major drama would be some bruise, so we'll just take it nice and easy, and it's all going to be good. Cheers. Here we are at Balladonia. I think it's about 10:30 in the evening, and there is not a soul moving. Can't say I blame them. I think it's about 3 degrees, and yeah, so we'll just keep going on to Norseman, another 180 k's or so, and might have something to eat. So here we're at Norseman. We've arrived at about, just the car outside, we've refueled. There's so many people around, us only, and we'll make our journey on shortly. Well, it's 2:35 a.m. Made it to Kalgoorlie. Not a lot going on in town, the odd truck swinging by. We're at Ben Pryor's beautiful park, and stretch the legs, and Stewie will have a break, and I'll take over for another stint of a few hours, and we should be, at this stage we're still on track to get to where we need to be at about 10 a.m. Okay, good morning from the 29th of July 2022. We've kind of made it. We've only got 190 k's to run to get us into all clean car and hand wash to get this thing ready for its registration today, and then it'll finally be Western Australian owned. But what a great trip. The car has been faultless, absolutely no issues whatsoever, and held up tremendously. The biggest risk, of course, was getting a puncture. Hopefully with 190 k's to run we'll survive that, and also we virtually didn't see any roos or any wildlife that would do some damage, so yeah, really good. So worth the trip. Thanks to Stewie for making the effort to come over as well to support it. I probably wouldn't have been able to do it without him. Would have been a real push, so that's appreciated. So yeah, sign off for now. Cheers. Arriving in Perth. This is what we agreed to. We left Melbourne in the rain, and we arrived to Perth in the rain, but at least we made it. So yay for us. Thanks guys. So here we are at All Clean again in Melbourne. Car just arrived. We're giving it the once over. Rego this afternoon. There we go, all clean, looking $1 million, ready for Rego. The last final act, popping the new number plates onto the Beamer after our journey across Australia. Finally picked up some number plates which now make it Western Australia, trying to fit it into that spot, and we're good and finished. The car is ready for using in WA.